is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Houston.
Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today it's the deciding game of this three-game series, the Houston Astros versus the Atlanta Braves. Good afternoon, everybody, and a matinee game finds the Astros and Braves squaring off to see who wins this hotly contested series with players diving all over the field, JD.
Yeah, very entertaining ball game last night. The Astros came from behind to take a lead, and then the Braves ultimately win it in the top half of the ninth off of Matt Lindstrom, who has struggled the last couple times he's gone to the hill. So the rubber game today falls to a couple of red-hot pitchers, Wandy Rodriguez and Tommy Hanson. Wandy 9-11, 434. Last 8 starts or so, he has been very, very good. Young Tommy Hanson, 8-8 with a 3.69 ERA. He, too, has been really throwing the ball well lately, and he's been good against the Astros, including 8 solid innings in Atlanta back in April.
That's our Jaguar key matchup, brought to you by the 2011 Jaguar XJ. The Astros and the Braves in a hotly contested series, decided late. Let's see what today brings in just a moment. Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers and the 2010 F-150. And by Jack in the Box and the really big chicken sandwich combo. Steamy one outside, inside Minute Maid Park. It's game 3 of a 10-game homestand. The Braves will head for home after this one. They have an off day tomorrow, and Chipper Jones will get an MRI on his sprained left knee to see exactly what the extent of the damage was last night. Meanwhile, in this deciding game of this series, it's Wandy Rodriguez warming up to face Bobby Cox's lineup. The final game for skipper Bobby Cox at Houston as a Major League manager. Here's the lineup. Omar Infante, second base. Melky Cabrera, right field. Alex Gonzalez, shortstop. Matt Diaz, left field. Troy Gloss, first base. David Ross, catcher. Brooks Conrad, third base. Rick Ankiel, center fielder. Tommy Hansen, pitcher.
Wandy Rodriguez still a couple of games below 500, but his work lately has been outstanding. You look at his last 3 starts, collectively 2-0 with an 0.42 ERA. 23 strikeouts, just 3 walks, 1 earned run. It has been really impressive work from the lefty. And defensively, Lee Bourne and Pence cover the outfield. Infielder Johnson Sanchez, who made a whale of a play to start a double play last night. Kevin Wallace, Castro back behind the plate. He and Lonnie have been teaming nicely. Brad Mills keep that combo rolling.
Wandy waiting for Omar Infante to get set in the box. Infante carries a .332 average with 3 homers, 28 runs batted in. The Astros stopped his 12-game hitting streak last night as he was 0 for 4. Strike 1 to Infante. That tied the longest streak of his career. But nonetheless, he has really been a factor for the Braves. And looks at the curveball for a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Filling in for the injured Martin Prado at second base. Prado is eligible to come back from the 15-day disabled list in about 4 days. Nubbed out to first base. Wandy's got a cover. Here's the toss from Wallace. Wallace plays far off the line, and the pitcher cannot forget that. That's out number 1.
Which is precisely what happened right there momentarily. Wandy assumed that was going to be a 4-3 play, so he didn't break right away. So Wallace plays well off the bag, helps cover that hole, allows Keppinger to cheat a little bit towards the middle. So as a pitcher, any ball on the ground to the right side, you've got to be ready to go.
Wallace took care of the 3-1 play. Now Castro out to talk with Wandy. As a switch hitting Melky Cabrera. Ready, not sure what that's all about. Wandy looks a little winded from that sprint, so maybe Castro was just buying him some time. No, it's more than that, because now Brad Mills and Nate Lucero are out.
Maybe the way he extended to get to first base might have twisted something or jammed something, because he had to lunge for the bag to beat Infante. It's a little awkward here as he catches the ball and then kind of lunges towards first base. I don't see anything twist. Makes me think maybe a little bit of a bark in the low back. Knee buckle just a little bit.
There's a long stride at the end. He may have done something there. We've had some injuries in this series. Jason Hayward out after his injury to his right knee, not thought to be serious in game 1. Chipper Jones hurt last night. There's strike 1 to Melky Cabrera, 26 years old today. 267, 4 homers, 30 runs batted in for Cabrera. He's 0 for 5 in this series.
Well, Braves today with the Chipper Jones banged up. Martin Prado still hurt. Jason Hayward hurt. Not in the lineup. Brian McCann getting a day off, so one of their best hitters are not in the lineup this afternoon.
2 balls and a strike. Chipper Jones not thought to be available. That knee problem.
It's birthday week here.
Al Pedrique with a birthday as well. Astros bench coach. Possible gapper to right center. And it's in for extra bases for Melky Cabrera. He legs it around second and then pulls up with a 1-out double, his 19th double of the year on his birthday.
Now he gets extended on this high fastball and rifles it into the right center field alley. He runs okay, but he's not a real speed demon. He settles in for A 2-base hit. Happy birthday, Al Padrique. He's fitting.
Know anything about Friedrich?
I didn't see Friedrich.
Friedrich was on the bottom. He's a gymnast. We always have somebody who was born about 1700 and something on these birthday lists. We never know anything about it.
They were doing gymnastics back in the 1500s, or when was he born?
Well,
1700s?
They did gymnastics just trying to get out of bed in those days. Fly ball off the bat of Alex Gonzalez goes foul. No balls, 2 strikes to a 259 hitter. 3 homers with the Braves, 8 runs batted in, but overall, including his time with Toronto, he's hit 20 home runs and driven in 58 runs, and that's the top of the list for Major League shortstops. Homers and RBI production this season. Gonzalez, though, has had his fielding problems in this series. One hit Castro.
They hit the knob of the bat and then came down and got Jason. Painful first inning here. Boy. Jason waving Nate Lucero off. Nate was bouncing out of the dugout. Jason said, I'll be fine. Just need to walk it off a little bit. Top of the bat, top of the knee, maybe, or did it hit his arm?
Looked like the top of the knee, but it might have glanced off his arm. See it here.
Ooh,
yeah,
arm.
Yep. Took a shot. No balls, 2 strikes to Gonzalez. This one gets by Castro now. Cabrera taking third, and Wandy and Jason struggling both with the injury factor and trying to get in sync. All kinds of things going on here in the first inning.
This was clearly a cross-up. Jason's anticipating the breaking ball down and in, and Wandy comes with a fastball. It'll be ruled a pass ball, but I think that one's on Wandy. He crossed him up. Yeah, that's a tough pass ball to swallow, because when you're anticipating a curveball, it's awfully tough to handle the fastball.
Now runner at third, and the infield moves in with 1 out and a 1-2 count on Gonzalez. Gonzalez 2 for 17 in his career against Rodriguez.
Nice job there, deadening that curveball. This is what Brad Mills likes to do in some of these infield in situations. If there's not a real burner on third base, he likes to keep his middle infielders in, but not all the way in, so they don't lose all the range, but they're still in position to make a play on Cabrera on a ground ball.
Chopper over the mound. That'll get the run home. Sanchez with a throw to first. 1-0 Braves as Gonzalez picks up his 9th RBI as a Brave. Sanchez with a good play to take in out number 2.
And that deployment there really proved beneficial, because if they're all the way in, that ball probably bounces into center field for a base hit. You see where Sanchez is deployed, and that just increases his range just a little bit, as opposed to being all the way in.
2 down. Now it's Matt Diaz. Braves break in front in this one. They have a 2.5 game lead on the Phillies in the NL East. Diaz looks at strike 1. 240 is his average. He has 5 homers, 21 runs batted in, and 146 at bats with the Braves this year. Had right thumb surgery back in May. He's hit 270 against lefties. All 5 of his long balls against southpaws this year for Diaz. Braves are 20-18 in games started by lefties against them. Ball makes it a 2-1 count. Wandy has really turned his season around. He was 3-10 with an ERA over 6 since June 24th. He's 6-1 with a 1.86 ERA in his last 8 starts. Tied for first in the wins in the National League since June 24th. And he's 5th in ERA in the National League in that amount of time. Diaz hits the southpaw as well. Takes a strike, and it's 2-2. The Braves have a lot of left-handed hitters and have a first base prospect, Freddie Freeman, AAA Gwinnett, who bats left. Foul away. That's why Troy Gloss is very important to this Atlanta lineup, and Diaz today hitting in front of Gloss qualifies as well as somebody who could do damage when the left-handed pitchers on the mound against them. It's worked out for Bobby Cox that he's also playing David Ross, the catcher. Another cross up there?
No, but Jason just not having a whole lot of fun this inning. Doing the cross up, getting whacked in the bicep by that foul tip. Trying to handle Wandy's high heater there. The curveball's in the dirt. One more cup of coffee may be beneficial.
Curveball struck him out. It's 1 run, 1 hit. And the Braves break in front 1-0 for Tommy Hanson. Starting lineup now for Brad Mills. For the bottom of the first, it's Michael Bourne to lead off in center field. He'll be followed by Jeff Keppinger batting second today at second base. Then it's Hunter Pence in right field, Carlos Lee in left, Chris Johnson at third, moved up to the number 5 spot with his surge. Red Wallace at first base, Angel Sanchez at shortstop, Jason Castro the catcher for Wandy Rodriguez.
Tommy Hanson turns 24 in a couple of weeks. He has been very good lately. He hasn't won. They don't score any runs for him. Last 3 starts 0-2 despite a 1.33 ERA. They've scored just 3 runs total in his last 3 games. He's got a good arm.
Throwing strike 1 to Michael Bourne. 255 for Michael. 1 homer, 27 runs batted in for Bourne. He's on an 8-game hitting streak, 11 for 34. Third time this year he's put together an 8-game streak, and the count goes to 1-1 for Michael. Michael's 3 for 10 in this series. Third baseman Conrad's in on the grass. 1-2, as JD mentioned earlier. Tommy Hanson, 22nd round pick in 05, pitched well in beating the Astros in Atlanta on April 30th, giving up 2 runs in 8 innings.
Can overpower you with his fastball, but he'll also try to throw a little sink, little runner. That allows him to be more efficient. His fastball, curveball, slider, and a straight change. Only allowed 8 home runs all year.
Slider's tapped to first base. Gloss takes care of the first out for Hanson.
The Braves have had their problems defensively in this series. They set up this way. Diaz Akiel, who made a spectacular play last night, and Melky Cabrera. Coach Conrad will get significant time, I assume, now that Chipper's banged up. Alex Gonzalez, as Brownie mentioned in the top of the inning, really struggled defensively in this series. Ross not particularly mobile over there at first base. A team that's made a bunch of errors this year. David Ross behind the plate is a good throwing catcher.
Jeff Keppinger, the University of Georgia product, looks at ball one with a .290 average. He has 5 homers. He's driven in 44. Jeff's 2 for 9 in this series with a couple of runs batted in.
Rick Ankiel is daring Keppinger to hit the ball over his head. He's shallow and towards right center a little bit.
1-1.
Takes a little courage to do that in this ballpark. It's such a big center field. You realize when you play shallow, there's a lot of real estate behind you.
Hansen pops the mid up high, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Roger McDowell is the pitching coach. He moved Hansen to the middle of the rubber earlier this season when he was struggling. And that's worked. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
A lot of people ask me, well, why does the guy throw on first base side to third base side? And a lot of it's just experiment. You just move around and see how hitters react to your pitches. As you do your work in the bullpen, you see how the ball moves and breaks. And a lot of times you'll ask a hitter to stand in there and say, yeah, that looks like a tough pitch to stay on. I like the way the leverage you're getting, the movement you're getting from over there.
Hansen 6'6" from Tulsa. Riverside Community College. He was 11-4 last year with the Braves. Foul back. And last year he got a no decision pitching here at Houston against Wandy Rodriguez. He went 8 shutout innings. Very impressive outing, and had a 1-0 lead, but the Astros won it late 2-1. Fly ball sends the second baseman out. Infante makes the catch in front of Cabrera. 2 down. And it's Hunter Pence batting. Hunter 0 for 6 in this series. Coming off a 14-game hitting streak in which he hit .369. A lot of these Astros hitters were hot at the same time. .274 for the season. 15 homers, 58 runs batted in. Now hoping they don't all cool off at the same time. They got 2 runs on 7 hits last night. Jair Jurgens really threw the ball well. And the Braves bullpen has some guys with electric stuff. Boy, Astros were really impressed with Johnny Venters. Of course, Billy Wagner came in to close it out last night. Got a 1-2-3 ninth.
Yeah, got Wags at 99 on the gun on 1 pitch last night.
Upstairs to Hunter. He's 2-0.
I told him today, so why you can't quit while you're throwing? He said, watch me.
Yeah,
he's committed.
Determined, he really is. His wife Sarah's in town with him, visiting a Houston architect. And they'll stay over and fly back to Atlanta tomorrow to build a new home in Virginia. 2 balls and a strike to Hunter Pence. Carlos Lee's on deck. Hansen retired the last 15 Astros in Atlanta back in April. Leaves the slider high, 3-1. And earlier this season he was wild high, and that's why the move was made to get him to the middle of the rubber. He's walked 40 in 134 innings. Comes back for a 3-2 count with that late breaking pitch.
Threw a bad slider and then followed up with a very good one.
Now the fastball gets him looking. It's a 1-2-3 first for Hansen, and it's 1-0 Braves.
up by 1, and I am now joined by Commissioner Elizabeth Ames Jones, a member of the Texas Railroad Commission. Today being 8/11, August 11th, is a very important day that's been targeted here for a long time. And Elizabeth, why don't you go ahead and tell the fans what is so important about 8/11?
8/11 is an important day for safety, not just for Texans, but for everybody across the United States. This is a day to remind everybody, if they're going to be digging, not just in your backyard, but anywhere, you need to call 811. You've got to get those pipelines marked, because the Railroad Commission of Texas, we want you to be safe when you dig. So I'm here to publicize and educate people about 811 and how important it is to avoid accidents, to call 811 before you engage in any digging.
So kind of like a 911 emergency, if you're going to do anything in your backyard, swimming pool or anything at all, you call 811, and then what happens?
Well, then they'll report back to a pipeline company that somebody wants to dig and where they want to dig. It's very, very important for people to make sure these lines are marked. We do not want to have any more accidents, any accidents at all, related to an unidentified pipeline. So I am here to drive home the point that we want Americans, and we've got 2 cute little kids here, and I want them to be safe. So I am educating the public about 811. It's important to call before you dig.
And what better place to come out and promote it than right here on a nice day game at the Astros?
Well, and go Astros.
All right, again, that's 811, and if you want any more information about it, there's also a website, call811.com. Of course, safety is always first and foremost, and we appreciate you stopping by and giving us the...
Patty, great to see you.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Patty. Troy Gloss has a 2-2 count. The score 1-0 Braves. Ground ball up the middle. Backhanded. Keppinger from behind second gets it. Looks like it might have been slowed down by Wandy Rodriguez.
Wandy got a piece. Marked at 1-4-3 in the scorecard. Gloss a little wobbly, too, running back to the dugout.
Yeah. He's moving very slowly right now.
He's a good low ball hitter. We saw that a couple of times last night. Put a pretty good swing on this low fastball. Want to be able to get a piece and slow it down. It's a loss. It almost looks like his back is bothering him.
Yep. Sure does. Oh, yeah. He is not moving well at all.
This is a wounded bunch of Braves here.
David Ross tried to bunt his way on. He's feeling pretty frisky. There is strike 1. It's his first playing time of this series. 284 for David. 1 homer, 20 runs batted in. And being a right-handed hitting catcher, that is a good matchup for Bobby Cox to give lefty hitting Brian McCann a rest. Ross just hit his first homer of the year a few days ago. He said he had been catching a lot of ribbing from the guys about not going deep this year. Had 7 homers last year for the Braves and 128 at bats. 1 ball, 1 strike. David's 33 years old. He was drafted by the Dodgers in '98. Then he moved along to Pittsburgh, San Diego. You might remember him from Cincinnati. Had a 21 home run season there in '06, driving in 52 and 247 at bats. 2 balls and a strike. David is a Georgia boy, born in Bainbridge, and went to the University of Florida.
Georgia has turned down a lot of players.
You know it. Good looking pitch, but Mike Machlinski called it ball 3.
Mike Machlinski.
Speaking of digging, as Patty was.
Where's this one? It's right on the corner at the bottom of the knee. Mask wearing Union. There's another one.
Right there. Patty's also digging to find the identity of Bo and Sarah. She interviewed Bo and Sarah out in the left field stands the other day. And doesn't know their last names, and they're in demand for network television appearances now. So,
apparently, CBS Morning Show wants them. We heard rumors that Letterman is interested.
Yeah. And we can't reach them. We don't know their last names.
Hello, nice comeback.
Bottom looking, Patty, have you made any headway on that?
No, I haven't, but I definitely would like to take this opportunity to ask Bo and Sarah, if you guys are out there, if anybody knows them. This thing has just really gotten huge, and as you mentioned, CBS, Letterman, I mean, all kinds of people are looking for them. There may be some trips involved, so guys, you can get in contact with somebody at the Astros. They know where to find me. You can go to foxsportshouston.com, email us there, foxsportshouston@yahoo.com, email us there. If you don't want to come out of hiding, we might understand. But everybody's just having a lot of fun with it. They were great sports, a very cute couple. So give us a call, guys.
Yeah, Bo, what's wrong with a little national humiliation?
Brooks Conrad, who had a big blow last night, takes ball 2. It's 2-0 on the former Astro farmhand, who ripped a 2-run homer in the 9th inning last night to give the Braves a 3-2 lead in their 4-2 win. Going in for the injured Chipper Jones and hitting this one in the air. Hunter Pence puts it away. So Bo and Sarah come out of hiding. It's 1-0 Braves.
Need a billboard.
Second inning, Carlos Lee leads it off for the Astros. Tommy Hanson had a 1-2-3 first. The liner up the middle, backhanded. Infante. The gloss, 1 out on 1 pitch for Hanson.
Hey, baseball fans, Chevy is a proud sponsor of youth baseball programs throughout the state of Texas. If you would like to learn more about Chevy's commitment to youth league baseball, visit ChevyTexasBaseball.com. Kiddos.
We see a lot of kids for these weekday afternoon games. Their multicolored t-shirts. Chris Johnson's put together an 8-game hitting streak. Been on about a 2-month hitting streak. There's strike 1. 366 for Chris. 5 homers, 32 runs batted in. That's why he's batting 5th, and now it's an 0-2 count. Brad Mills wants to tap into all of his hits. He has 35 hits over his last 20 games. Only 3 other Houston rookies have had 35 hits over a 20-game span. Billy Doran in 83, Gerald Young in 87, and Brian Hunter in 95. 1-2. He's driven in 15 runs in his last 11 games.
It's a good matchup here. Red hot Chris Johnson against a very talented young right-hander in Tommy Hanson.
Ball hits for left center field. Rick Ankiel goes back with it.
He just missed it.
5 straight for Hanson. Hanson's given up 8 homers in 135 innings. It's been tough to crack. It's 4-4 on the road with a 3.32 ERA. The run support, while he's been in the game, 2.7 runs per start for Tommy Hanson. So that's why he's only 8-8. Brett Wallace on a 3-game hitting streak. Looks at the sharp breaker for ball 1. Brett in this series is 3 for 6 with an RBI. 333 as an Astro with 4 runs batted in for Brett. He fouls it back, and it's a 1-ball 1-strike count. Braves are 4-1 against the Astros. This is the final meeting of the season today. The Astros have the Wives Gala here on the field tomorrow night. And they'll be back in action Friday night against Pittsburgh. 1-2.
Hanson's got an interesting delivery. He's very upright, stays very tall on that back leg, and that gives him tremendous leverage on that curveball. And he's a bit of a short armor. He keeps the arm in tight to the body.
Kept that pitch in tight to Wallace's body, and it's 2-2.
Which should add a little deception. And you add that to the fact that he's capable of rushing it up there in the mid-90s. That's a real good heater.
Foul tip, and Ross held on for a 10-pitch inning. That's 6 straight retired by Hanson. 1-0 Braves. Yankill leads it off as the number 8 batter. And there's strike one from the center fielder with a 147 Atlanta batting average. He was with Kansas City and then was traded to the Braves. He's driven in 3. That one goes in the air, and Chris Johnson drifts behind third base. Handling out number 1 for Wandy Rodriguez.
Wandy has good stuff today. Struggled a little bit with his location in the first inning, but the action on his pitches, you could tell what the fact that Jason Castro was having a little bit of a difficult time holding him there in the first gives you an idea that his stuff is pretty good today. Fastball's got life. The curveball has real good bite. Did a little drop down number there on Yankill. He's done that a lot more this year than in past seasons. Just another look for the left-handed hitters.
Now here's Hanson. Tommy with 5 hits and 41 at bats, a 122 average, has driven in 3. Johnson even with a bag at third. Hanson was the first Braves pitcher to get a hit this season. They had been 0 for 30 as a group before he connected with his first one. Wandy delivers, and it snowballs 2 strikes. Wandy's 2-2 lifetime against Atlanta with a 4.73 earned run average.
Tim Hudson, he's a good hitter.
Yes, he is. Very good pitcher, too. That's a strike, and that'll do it for Hanson. And we go to Greg Lucas.
Well, it's Wednesday, so Wednesday is live chat day, and we've got the computer here, and we're chatting with the fans. We toss out a couple of poll questions here and there, and it's very easy to get on if you've never done it before. You just go to foxsportshouston.com. That's our website, and there will be instructions as to how to get to it, to join, to sign in. We love talking with the fans every Wednesday, home or road, day or night. Join us and be part of it, guys. Back to you.
Foul ball by Omar Infante. In fact, if you're on the street and you see Bo or Sarah, you can contact us at foxsports.houston. And let us know how we can reach them. The urgent urgent plea has gone out for Bo and Sarah. Get in touch with us. FoxSports.Houston. Ground ball and one hop. Fielded by Johnson. It's a quick third for Wandy Rodriguez. 1-0 in the Braves lead.
Just about the hottest hitter on the planet. You can do it at the Whataburger, 320 North Park Drive, Highway 59 in Kingwood. Become the ultimate Whataburger Whata fan. Have a chance to win 2 sweet tickets for the Cubs game on October 2nd. Win Whataburger for a year. Throw out the first pitch. Be on the field for BP. All kinds of good things. And it comes your way next Wednesday.
Angel Sanchez moved down to the 7th spot. Takes ball 1. Not a demotion. He's hitting .294. Driven in 14 runs. Been a very good hitter. But Kevinger's hitting second today. And Brad Mills wanted Sanchez batting 7th in this lineup. Now he's leading off an inning. We make so much out of where guys bat, but here he is leading off this inning. Could be batting anywhere and doing that.
I think it's one of the most overrated aspects of the game. People talking about lineup and who hits where.
He's 1 for 8 in this series.
Gives people something to talk about, though.
Absolutely. 2-2 to Angel. Brad Mills had some concerns about the back of Matt Lindstrom. Grounded out to second, and Infante takes care of out number 1. That's 7 straight for Hansen. We go to Patty Smith.
Well, you can catch the last weekend of Astros baseball here at Minute Maid Park. Astros summer baseball, that is, with an incredible deal. For every full-price ticket you purchase through the special link on Astros.com for the game this Saturday against the Pirates, you'll receive a $10 voucher good towards your purchase of food, beverage, or merchandise that same day. Just visit Astros.com/summer for tickets, Bill.
Lots of young ones today in the audience, various ages, as the kids have come. Still summer, still enjoyable. Jason Castro comes up, smacks one on the ground, but there's Infante. In the 3rd inning, Hansen has retired too quickly and faces the pitcher, Wandy Rodriguez, next.
Yeah, Hansen really on his game here this afternoon. There's been a couple balls hit hard. That one was pretty well struck. Carlos Lee hit a bullet to Infante in his at-bat. It's got to be fun to catch a guy like Hansen with David Ross. You're back there, okay, you see I got a guy with a plus heater, a plus curveball, good slider, and a good changeup. He's got a lot of go-to pitches.
Wandy takes, and there's ball 1 to him. He has had 10 hits with a .233 batting average and 2 runs batted in for Wandy. Hansen delivers to make it a 1-1 count. Foul ball by Wandy makes it a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Tonight, the Phillies have Roy Oswalt on the mound against the Dodgers in Philadelphia. Chad Billingsley to pitch for Los Angeles. Wonder if Brad Ausmus is going to be in that starting lineup tonight. Could be an interesting matchup. Ausmus versus Oswalt.
Maybe some trash talking going on there.
Dodgers pounded the Phillies last night, 15-9. The Braves currently have a 2.5 game lead on Philadelphia. The Braves are 7-5 against the Phillies. 2 more series to go between the two clubs. It's 2-2, so there you see the NL East. In the Central, it's almost exactly tied, percentage points separating the Cardinals and Reds. Cardinals are winning today at Cincinnati, 6-0, bottom of the 7th inning.
Being on the verge of sweeping that 3-game series in Cincinnati. Tony La Russa had his guys lined up. Carpenter pitched game 1, Garcia game 2. Adam Wainwright with the shutout going today. It was a pitcher's duel until Colby Rasmus hit a 2-out grand slam in the top of the 5th. And now the Cardinals have added a couple of more.
Stephen Hill of Houston is spending his first day in the big leagues with the Cardinals. He was just called up from AA Springfield this morning. Rodriguez strikes out. That's 9 straight set down by Hansen. 1-0 Braves.
Fourth, Braves 1, Astros nada. This date on Astros history brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. August 11th, 1982. Nolan Ryan tosses a 1-hitter. Beat the Padres 3-0. A little rolling single by Terry Kennedy in the 5th, the lone hit. Terry Poole had 3 knocks. Tikitan kept the hitting streak alive. To 20 games, Nolan Ryan was 7 no-hitters in his career and 12 one-hitters. That's a whole lot of missing going on.
Yes, it is. Number 34. Number's been retired by 3 different teams. Melky Cabrera leads it off in the 4th for the Braves. Wandy Rodriguez has set down 8 in a row since Cabrera doubled. He took 3rd on a pass ball and scored on a ground out. And it's ball 1 for Cabrera. 26th birthday today for this young outfielder who came from the Yankees. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Nate McLouth is in the minor leagues now for the Braves. He has 2 more years left on his contract. He's a left-handed hitter. Cabrera puts it in the air. Carlos Lee comes over near the line and left. And McLouth figures into the payroll for the Braves for future years more and more heavily, to the tune of about $6 million next year and $11 million the year after. Cabrera not making a lot of money, so he could be helpful in managing their outfield situation. Jason Hayward hurt his right knee attempting to catch on Carlos Lee Monday night. Did not play last night. Is available today to play, but obviously not the starting lineup. There's Hayward on the bench as Alex Gonzalez bats. His ground ball to shortstop drove in a run. That one goes out of play. There's strike one.
And if not for the cross-up pass ball in that inning, we're in a scoreless game.
Yeah. We're now in a delay at Cincinnati with St. Louis leading 6-0 after 7. Thompson Arroyo started for the Reds, and there was a grand slam, as J.D. mentioned, by Rasmus in the 5th inning. That was Colby's 19th home run of the year. Jason LaRue was hurt in last night's fracas. Johnny Cueto apparently was kicking people.
Yeah, the whole mob kind of got pushed back to the backstop, and Cueto was pinned against the backstop and started trying to kick his way out. And apparently got LaRue in the ribs. He's got a mild concussion. Chris Carpenter and Scott Rowland apparently got into it a little bit.
That would be easily understandable. You know Carpenter's got to be in the middle of something when those two teams play.
I think Rowland initially was trying to be the peacemaker, the former Cardinal.
Well, LaRussa and Baker were ejected. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout of Gonzalez. So how was Cueto not thrown out if he's kicking and injuring people?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't see it. Maybe the umpires didn't see it. So maybe that he wasn't ejected, but once the league takes a look at the video, he may end up being fined, possibly even suspended.
True.
It all started when Brandon Phillips had popped off in the paper prior to the series. Called the Cardinals a bunch of whiners, I guess, or complainers, or some silly thing. And then when he went up to hit, he went to tap Molina and the shin guards just to say, hey, like you would do, and Molina would have no part of it.
Sanchez throws out Diaz. It's only an 8-pitch inning for Wandy Rodriguez. Both these pitchers just mowing down the lineups they're facing, and the Braves lead it 1-0. Atlanta 1, Houston 0. Tommy Hanson has been perfect through 3. Here's Michael Bourne in the 4th. Looking at the slider, there's ball 1. Grounded out to first baseman Troy Gloss in the 1st inning. Michael was working on hitting the ball hard to the left side of the infield today. He bunts, drags it up the line at first. It rolls foul. He was already by Gloss when Gloss picked it up foul. So he didn't see whether it was fair or foul, and he turned back to the umpire, Gary Cederstrom.
Good idea and a real good try. The drag bunt and Gloss, we talked earlier, not real mobile guy down there at first base. If this ball stays fair, he's got himself a knock. Kind of fun. He had to kind of skirt away from it. Once he started kicking that way, he had a feeling he was going to go foul.
Michael has 6 bunt hits. He's tied for 4th in the league, but Jeff Bagwell was applauding his work in the cage today, hitting bullets just inside the third base bag. Up the middle, and that's deflected. Hansen scrambles, no play. And Bourne has a 9-game hitting streak and becomes the first Houston base runner.
By working hard on hitting the ball the other way, it just keeps him in there longer, keeps that front shoulder in, lets the ball get a little bit deeper. And he can take advantage of that, just try to stay the middle the other way. Hansen allowing just his first hit this afternoon. He's a guy I would not be surprised to see toss a no-hitter at some point in his career, challenge for a Cy Young Award. He's got that kind of stuff.
He throws to Gloss.
He has been very easy to run against, however.
This might be the time for Michael, who leads the league in steals with 36. Jeff Keppinger popped a second on a 2-2 count. He's very good at taking a pitch, so base runner can steal.
Work hard on keeping him close. Got to be aware of the pitch out. Ross throws well. Into 22 of 23 successful with Tommy Hansen on the mound.
That almost demands a stolen base attempt by the league leader. He does not have a big lead right now. Now 1-0. The chances of a pitch out are lessened, but it could still happen here. Hansen has good control, so even if he throws a pitch out, falls behind 2-0, Braves are pretty confident, probably, that he can come back and get this hitter. We've seen some impressive arms from Atlanta in this series. Mike Minor making his major league debut Monday night, looking good. Last night, Jurgens, Hansen today. Bourne takes off. Here's a throw from Ross. Safe. Stolen base number 37 for Michael Bourne. The pitch was ball 2.
Hansen trying to quicken his delivery a little bit, but he's just got that little bit of a hesitation at the top. Even when he uses a little bit of a slide step, it's still a pretty slow delivery home. This gets off a pretty good throw, but Michael in just ahead of that tag by Infante.
37 steals, places him one behind his good friend Carl Crawford. 2 balls and a strike. 100 Pence on deck. Keppinger did not take a good cut at that slider. It's probably really hard to recognize. Very late break to it.
Yeah, well, in 2-0, he was just sitting on a fastball there. He was cheating on a fastball, and Hansen threw him a good slider.
Bourne takes off for third. They've got him in a rundown. Brooks Conrad runs him back. Alex Gonzalez to Hansen covering. Hansen dropped the ball. Bourne back to second.
And that's why in spring training they try to keep the pitcher out of the play as much as possible. Well, that's a mulligan right there. That's a redo. Reset and go right back where we were prior to the break by Michael. There's an error charge to Tommy Hansen. In that situation there where Ross should have run Hansen off, he was in position to do so. You see, that's Ross's job to come down there and get involved in the play. I don't know how good an athlete Hansen is. Something, if you got a good athlete out there, you might rather have him involved than a guy with a catcher's mitt on.
I don't remember seeing an Atlanta Braves team in many years this poorly playing in the field in a 3-game series. 2-1 to count. Bourne takes off again. Here's the throw, and it's there, and safe. Bourne stole third, and Brooks Conrad went right for the third base umpire. Fielding Culbreth.
And look from Bobby Cox. Close play down there. Last night, Hunter Pence was rung up on a steal at third base, a play in which he appeared to be safe. It was a very close call for Ed Hickox. Now fielding Culbreth. We're going to hear from Coxie for a little while, the all-time leader in managerial ejections. And Michael Bourne bound and determined to get that bag, and that's a high-risk play with nobody out. And normally when you're thinking about stealing third base, you're doing it with one out. You feel pretty good about your chances on second base and nobody out, where you don't want to be too risky. So that's one of those ones, hey, if you can make it, great. But if you're rung up, it's a bad play. I think you got it right.
Looks like you did.
Pitcher has to get out around the hitter to make that throw. Looked like the foot got in as the tag, or just before the tag was applied in the back of the leg.
Well, the infield comes in, and there's ball 4 to Keppinger. That was Bourne's 4th steal at third base this year. 48th overall. Time for Jack in the Box standings now. I'll show you the teams in the majors with the most errors, and this is surprising. The Atlanta Braves typically have supported their pitching staff with good fielding. They've made 88 errors. That's third most in the majors.
And given assist to Michael Bourne on that walk, too. Hansen did not walk the man. A lot of base running until Michael's base hit. So into the stretch for the first time, and then because of Bourne on the bases, the concentration shifted a little bit, and he ultimately walks Keppinger.
Braves have made 7 errors in this 3-game series. Up the middle, Hunter Pence has an RBI single. Keppinger will hold at second, and it's a 1-1 game. 59th run batted in for Hunter Pence to break a tie with Carlos Lee going to the club lead. Speed has had a magical effect on this inning.
Infield single, a couple stolen bases, and now the RBI single by Hunter Pence.
Michael Bourne really made some things happen. Infield hit, stole second, stole third, escaping a rundown to get a second chance to steal third, and coming home. Now Carlos Lee grounded out to second earlier. There's strike one with Infante trying to keep the runner at second. Keppinger close. He's leaning that way. He's a .305 career hitter against Atlanta. Has it over first base side and out of play. It's an 0-2 count. In July, he hit .247. He's picked up the pace since then to .371 for August for Carlos. Big opportunity right here to help the Astros grab the lead. He takes that one. That is a good take. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hanson's had 12 quality starts of his 23. He's had 3 really bad starts. Other than those 3, it's been some kind of a year for Hanson. Breaking ball, tap foul. And since he had those 3 starts, he's made that adjustment to the middle of the rubber. So the learning curve has been a good one for Tommy, and he is 19-12 as a major league pitcher with 3.30 ERA. Chris Johnson's on deck. Time called after the long pause, and this inning has definitely slowed down for Tommy Hanson, who retired the first 9 batters, and things began to turn on the infield hit by Bourne off Hanson's leg. Still a 1-ball, 2-strike count for Carlos Lee.
Ross taking that ball back. Maybe he had a message for Hansen. Hansen used a little bit of a quick step there, too. I don't know if it's so much to shut down a potential running play. It's just to upset the timing of the hitter. But it's a little bit of a hanger. And that's the fear when you quicken your delivery, you don't get your arm up properly and you make a bad pitch. You got away with a hanging slider right there.
That's backing out of play. Still 1-2 for Carlos, who has driven in 10 runs in his last 11 games. The Astros have won 13 of their last 19 here at Minute Maid Park. They'll play the Pirates in a 3-game series over the weekend. Then next week, the Mets come in for 4 starting Monday night. Tampa Bay 1, Detroit 1, top of the 6th at Detroit. That looked like strike 3, but it was called ball 2.
With a front door slider, you started at the hitter, you try to freeze him and then have it curl back to the inside corner. Fox tracks in agreement with Mike Wachinski, and then ball's inside.
This will be the 8th pitch to Carlos. It's hit to left field, and Matt Diaz closing on it, makes a running catch, spins and throws. Here's the tag. The throw to third, not in time. Good base running by Keppinger, getting to third on out number 1. He saw the left fielder had to move out towards center, and that would make it a difficult throw for him.
Yeah, Diaz, all his momentum going in one direction, having to turn back the other way. Diaz got a late break on that ball as well. Flying through the air as he turns to make that throw. Good heads-up base running by Keppinger. Heads up and Keppinger kind of go together. Good smart ball player.
Getting to third with 1 out in the inning can be critical. Chris Johnson would like to make it that way. Roger McDowell's out to the mound. So CJ, who hit the fly ball to center in the 2nd inning, comes up now with runners at first and third and 1 out. And we go to Patty Smith. Patty?
Well, this Friday, the Astros take on the Pittsburgh Pirates at 7:05, and the first 10,000 fans will receive an umbrella courtesy of HEB. And be sure to stick around after the game for Friday Night Fireworks Spectacular presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. Visit Astros.com today for tickets, Bill.
Tomorrow night, right here on this field, it's the Astros Wives 21st Annual Black Ties and Baseball Caps Gala, benefiting the Houston Area Women's Center. That'll be from 6 to 9:15 tomorrow, as they'll begin right after this game ends, preparing the field. Chris Johnson has hit better than anybody since the All-Star break. At 436, he has 24 runs batted in. He's 3rd in hits, 4th in on-base percentage, and 4th in slugging. 1st and 3rd for Chris.
Averaging an RBI about every 5 at-bats. It's been quite a roll.
13 runs batted in 11 games for Chris. He chases that one and quickly falls behind 0-2. We found out today that Brad Mills played in Indianapolis in 1984 with Chris's father, Ron. Ron, currently the first base coach of the Red Sox, and coached there with Brad Mills. Also played minor league ball with Brad Mills. Hansen takes a little bit off with a bigger break. He strikes him out. That's good pitching.
Got on top of that one a little bit too. Had a little bit better tilt going down, not just sliding off the outside edge, but ducking down below the knees.
Brett Wallace struck out in the 2nd inning. Left-handed hitters actually have hit for a lower average against Hansen, 244 compared to right-handed batters 270. Keppinger's walking up the third base line. There's strike 1. Yeah, Brad Mills played third base in Indianapolis in '84. And Chris Johnson's father, Ron, played first base, but their sons have reversed it. Brad's son, Bo, is a first baseman in the Indian system. And as you know, Chris plays third for the Astros. Strike makes it 0-2 now, and Hansen working his way out of this 1-1 ball game.
Brett Wallace is, I think people are aware of the resume coming up through the minor leagues, and what he's shown in the big leagues is the ability to hit a good fastball. So he's going to have to learn to adjust to a steady diet of breaking balls and off-speed pitches. It's been curveball here to get started.
Up the middle, and this has a chance. There's a backhand play, and Fonte gets the force on Pence, flipping out of his glove to Gonzalez. And the Astros are held to 1 run on 2 hits. They leave 2. That's a good defensive play for the Braves. It's 1-1. Brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers and the 2010 F-150. By AT&T. By Chevy. By Comcast. And by Gallo Automotive. Another delicious ball game here. For brunch, maybe for you. It's a 1-1 affair through 4. Glad you could join us this afternoon for day baseball. With Troy Gloss leading it off in the 5th. Wandy Rodriguez has set down 11 straight. Gloss, a good low ball hitter. We saw that again last night, but he takes that pitch just off the plate for ball 1.
Yeah, I think a good way for Wandy to go after him is try to get ahead with the curveball and then climb the ladder with the fastball. And misfired with a couple of heaters here, just missing. And Gloss not been doing a whole lot lately. Had a nice night last night.
That was his first home run last night since June 20th. 2 balls and a strike. He has a powerful resume. Former Angel third baseman. He's hit more than 300 long balls in his big league career. He's driven in more than 900 runs. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Gloss. He was the 3rd player drafted in the '97 draft from UCLA.
Turned out a few good corner infielders. Sean Berry, Todd Zeal. Got a pitcher over there now. Supposed to be a real stud.
Curveball got him on strikes. Strikeout number 5 for Wandy.
They put a little wrinkle in it and shoot him up.
We have some AT&T trivia just for you. A shot of the Jeff Bagwell statue. In '91, Bagwell led Major League rookies with 82 runs batted in. What Astro rookie had the second most? 91.
Is that what we don't know what Astro rookie was second in RBIs that year for rookies?
Yes.
Okay. I got to go with Gonzo.
Okay. I'll go with Gonzo. Gonzo's number was retired recently by the D-backs. First number they've retired. 2-0. Hey, it's been nice to see the gifts for Bobby Cox, and we were talking with some of the Braves broadcasters. He's been getting gifts in most of these major league cities as he makes his final visit around. And last night he wore that cowboy hat back to the bench after Brad Mills presented him with that. And Jeff Bagwell gave him some cowboy boots. We heard that Ozzie Guillen and the White Sox had a very nice humidor made up for him. Jerry Reinsdorf, the White Sox owner, supplied a lot of cigars for that humidor.
Just don't give him a rocking chair.
No, not ready to cash in yet. He said he'll be scouting. He said, I'll see you in spring training or somewhere down the line. He has a 5-year contract to stay with the organization.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. We're going to get a chance. If we see him on the road a little bit, it'll be nice kind of chat with. Get his insights.
Well, he's always been very gracious with his time. And some managers, of course, it's a very, very busy position, as everybody knows. But some are tough to get to, and Bobby has always been accessible.
Yeah, some guys you get the sense they're not really happy that you're around. They got, man, they're busy guys. But I went in to say hi to Bobby today, and he was in his office. He grabbed his remote, turned his TV off. You know, he just, come on in.
Yeah. Swing late by Ross, and he struck out. That's number 6, Wandy. Everything working together pretty well today so far. Okay, was it Gonzo in 91? Luis Gonzalez was 69 that year.
Well, and that was the beginning of the turnaround, a transition as the core of that 86 group started to fade away, retired, got traded, became free agents and moved on. Those young players came and became the nucleus of a very good team.
Brooks Conrad gets the first pitch curve. There's ball 1. So he becomes the third baseman probably most of the time if Chipper Jones is out. As long as we think he probably will be, unfortunately, with the knee injury. But Infante could move over if Prado comes back to play second. 1 ball, 1 strike. Infante has been so valuable playing different positions for this Braves club. That would free him up to go back to doing what he was doing. And Conrad lashes one. It hooks and goes foul, but the Braves really like being able to bring Conrad off the bench. He's hit 2 pinch hit grand slams this year. He gives them a lot of thunder as a switch hitter. He's 10 for 41 pinch hitting.
That's the debate. You know, if you've got a guy who's really good off the bench, I mean, you might initially say, well, give him 4 at-bats instead of 1. But a lot of times the manager will tell you, well, if I can get that 1 at-bat at the right time with a dangerous pinch hitter, I'd rather have him there than the potential for 3 or 4 meaningless at-bats over the course of a ball game.
Slow roller, barehanded. Johnson throws, not in time. Infield hit for Conrad. Number 2 for the Braves. 13 in a row had been set down.
Conrad obviously enjoying his time in Atlanta. This is his 2nd year with Atlanta. Long run in the Astros minor league system. And then he was with Oakland a couple of years ago before moving on to Atlanta.
Rick Ankiel fouled out to Chris Johnson. The infield shift is on, and Johnson's the only infielder between 2nd and 3rd. Sanchez up the middle. He's on the first base side of second. Wandy dropping down, ball 1. Yeah, Brooks Conrad said he really enjoyed the way that Round Rock team was operated. Owen and Reed Ryan and that entire group. 2 balls, no strikes. Jay Miller, the general manager, really had very good memories of his time at Round Rock. Still a delay in Cincinnati. 6-0 St. Louis after 7. 3-0. The Cardinals, having worked their way back up to a 2 percentage point lead in the NL Central. It's going to be highly interesting to see what happens with those 2 clubs from this point on. Strike makes it 3-1 to the former Cardinal Rick Ankiel.
This is Wandy's first work from the stretch in a good long while.
.68 pitches, 20 coming in the first.
A little bit of a hurry there. Rush that delivery.
That's his first walk. And now the pitcher Hansen comes up.
That's the fear. When a guy's been going along and all of a sudden you got a base runner, now you go from the stretch. Sometimes the mechanics can falter a little bit. You have to work extra hard at making sure you keep your weight back.
At Arnsberg watching Wandy face Hansen, who struck out in the third. Now Matt Lindstrom, who got the blown save in the loss last night, is going to be down for today. He has some back issues. And the Astros really want to try to get that solved before Friday night if they can. At least find out what they're dealing with. He did not blame the pitching last night on his back and energies. 2-0, but that's been with him for some time. He's had spasms. Now Castro goes to the mound. So assuming Brandon Lyon will be the closer today, and Brad Mills had to check with each of his relievers to make sure which ones were available for this game, but probably Lyon would be the closer if there is that opportunity today.
Now, Brandon has pitched each of the last 2 days, but he hasn't thrown a lot of pitches. Through 11 last night, 7 the night before.
Stretched out right now. That's a good idea. It's only the 5th inning, but still sitting out there for 2.5 hours before coming in to pitch, not the ideal way to get ready. So he's making sure he stays loose. Wandy has thrown ball 1 to 5 straight batters now. High chopper into left field. And the Braves will grab a 2-1 lead. And that high bouncing hit by Tommy Hansen for his 4th run batted in, scoring Conrad. Johnson was in, and the ball bounced over his head and went on out into left field.
2 quick outs via punch out. Wandy looking very sharp. And the slow roller by Conrad, walk, and now this chopper over the head of Chris Johnson. A lot of misfortune here for Wandy. And the walk certainly is on him, but the 2 base hits, not a whole lot going on there.
Runners at first and third, and Hansen has given himself the lead. That's his 6th hit of the year. Now it's Infante batting. He's grounded out twice. Martin Prado, even though he's been out for almost a couple of weeks with a finger injury, is still leading the league in hits with 138. Prado's 4th in batting average at .315. Strike to Infante. I was asking the third base coach Brian Snitker of the Braves, what is Infante's best defensive position? He thought about it for a while. He kind of smiled and he said probably center field. One and one.
And nice piece to have to be able to play so many different positions and handle them all well.
Sure is.
Well, you may see Brian Snitker in a movie soon.
Oh?
Well, probably not soon, but and not Brian, but his team. There was a big story in Sports Illustrated a few weeks ago about his high school baseball team in Illinois, kind of a Hoosiers type story. It was a tiny school with an eccentric coach that went on to the state final. Played this big team out of Chicago. Ultimately lost the game, but it was a Cinderella story. And Brian was on the club. Coach was this kind of motorcycle riding, Fu Manchu wearing, hippie type guy.
Sounds like a made for Hollywood story. 1-2 to Infante. Braves have 3 hits. The Astros have a couple. Two balls, 2 strikes. There was a stir when Infante was named an All-Star. Charlie Manuel wanted a very versatile player in case the game was close in the late innings and somebody could come off the bench and play multiple positions. And he heard about it, but Infante has been a good player for a while. He's 28 years old. It's just that many didn't think of him as an All-Star.
I don't think he was an All-Star.
I didn't think so either. But Charlie Manuel got his man.
So did Wandy.
Yes, he did. He struck out the side, but in between those strikeouts, it's 1 run, 2 hits, and 2-man left, and the Braves lead it 2-1. BA Compass showing you some of the big plays of this game. Wandy Rodriguez with the curveball working. Hansen has been pitching well. Michael Bourne escaped the rundown. And then on the next pitch, he stole third base. Hunter Pence cracked a single up the middle to make it 1-1. And a high bouncing single into left off Wandy by the pitcher Hansen gave the Braves a 2-1 lead. Now Hansen's on the mound with that 2-1 lead facing Sanchez. Sanchez grounded out to second. And there's strike one on a high slider. On help. Chipper Jones feeling better today after the injury last night, but awaiting the MRI on his left knee tomorrow. That's the knee that was surgically repaired in '94. And he felt a pop as he jumped in the air to make that tremendous play last night, but not the same pop, he said, as he felt when he injured it before. Liner caught by Alex Gonzalez.
It's been a bizarre series in that there's been a number of miscues, mostly by the Braves, but there's been some spectacular defensive plays as well. Alex Gonzalez climbs the ladder here to rob Sanchez of a base hit.
Very good timing.
Depending on your point of view.
Yeah. 2-1 lead for the Braves. Jason Castro, the batter, fouls this one, and Brooks Conrad goes over near the stands. 2 outs. Castro's gone out on 2 pitches in his 2 at-bats in this game. Total now, Wandy Rodriguez will come up.
Setting up as a very, very easy inning for Hansen. 2 quick outs now. Wandy can extend it, maybe reach, make him work a little bit.
Wandy struck out on a 2-2 pitch in the 3rd. Hansen delivers strike 1. Tim Hudson really having a good year for the Braves. 13-5 with a 2.24 ERA. If they get in the playoffs in a short series, they can put a very good rotation out there.
Especially the way Jurgens is throwing the ball now.
Good bullpen arms too. They can back up that rotation. The Phillies now bolstered by Roy Oswalt with their rotation are outstanding. 2-1 Braves. It's the 5th inning. The Astros have 2 outs, nobody on, with a 1-1 count. 1-2 count now as it's Bill Brown, Jimmy Shays, and Patty Smith with you today. Still looking for Bo and Sarah somewhere out there. And 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Patty has gained a lot of notoriety. She's been doing talk shows. She would love to follow up on that interview she did with Bo and Sarah in the stands. Sarah injured only slightly by a foul ball, and Bo failed to protect her. 2 Hopper out to shortstop. There's Gonzalez in a 9-pitch inning, makes it 1-2-3 for Tommy Hansen through 5, 2-1 Braves. Time now for the Coors Light freeze cam, showing you Michael Bourne is so fast we have to freeze him. Ground ball hit off Tommy Hansen's leg. That started what proved to be a scoring inning. Michael stealing second, then escaping a run down there. And he went ahead and stole third on the next pitch after Tommy Hansen drew the error on that rundown. Just beating the tag by Butch Conrad. Came home to score on the Hunter Pence RBI single, making it 1-1. The Coors Light freeze cam brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light. Now the Braves lead it 2-1 with Cabrera, Gonzalez, and Diaz up here in the 6th inning.
Tommy Hansen, if you were to ask him his opinion of Michael Bourne right now, he would just say annoying. It's that ground ball off his leg. He's bouncing around out there. He ends up walking Keppinger. Hansen blows the run down. Michael steals third on him.
Melky Cabrera looks at ball one. He doubled to right center. Took third on a pass ball and scored on a ground out in the first. Hit a fly ball to left in the fourth. There's a strike. 1-1. Wandy has passed Mike Hampton in this game with 7 strikeouts. Moving into the second spot on the Astros all-time list. 4 strikeouts by a left-handed pitcher. Knepper's number 1. 2-1.
Thought he had the outside corner there. A little change up.
Two on the curve for Wandy. Last time out, Wandy left the game with a 4-2 lead at Milwaukee, giving up 1 earned run in 6 1/3 innings. The Astros lost that game late, 6-5, with Wandy getting a no decision. Now it's a full count to Cabrera.
Moving away, mostly down. Astros wanted to take a couple shots inside. Wandy's preferred to stay away.
Curve gets him a strikeout on Cabrera. 8 strikeouts.
Just a little emergency half act as he's really fooled by that breaking pitch. Look at that. You talk about a jelly leg hitter.
Yeah. Cabrera has been retired. There's 8 strikeouts, and now it's Gonzalez. 2 with an RBI, fouling it back, strike 1. Wandy's last 2 home starts produced shutout ball for him. He beat Milwaukee and Dave Bush July 31st with 8 shutout innings. And prior to that, he beat Mike Leake in Cincinnati 4-0 on July 25th with 7 shutout innings. He's won his last 3 decisions. 1 ball, 1 strike. At home, he has an ERA 3.18, winning 6, losing 5. He didn't get run support early in this season, and then he had some problems as well. Had a high ERA when he was 3-10.
Loves that curveball today. He's shaking off Jason. Jason wanted change up, fastball in, fastball away, and Wandy shook all of those to get back to the curveball.
Fouled away, still a 1 ball, 2 strike count. And this game similar in fashion to the Hansen-Rodriguez duel in Houston last September 9th. Neither getting a decision. The Astros winning at 2-1. Wandy giving up 1 run in 7 innings. Bouncing that one for a 2-2 count. It's Wednesday. Brad Mills has enjoyed the results of Astros games on Wednesdays. 13-4 is their record on that day of the week.
You think he sleeps better on Tuesday nights now?
I think he does. Tap to shortstop. Sanchez comes in. 2 down. You know, that's one thing, though. If you ask a baseball manager what day of the week it is this time of year, he probably has no clue.
Oh, no. Anybody in baseball, I've got no idea what the day is. I mean,
absolutely.
They're all the same.
This is game number 113 of the year for the Astros.
You don't think in terms of Wednesday or Friday or Saturday. You just think in terms of night game, day game, or off day.
Yeah.
That's the calendar.
Diaz is struck out and grounded out. Looking at ball one.
It's really impressive, the pitching here today, because it has not been a generous zone. Same thing as last night's game. I'm not saying the umpiring's been bad. It's been pretty darn consistent behind the plate, but it's been fairly tight.
Out to right center field, a long run here. Michael Bourne, Hunter Pence. It bounces between them, fielded by Pence. A double for Diaz, his 12th of the year.
Those 2 outs, nobody on last inning when the Braves got things cooking. A little infield hit by Brooks Conrad. This time a more impressive swing of the bat. Diaz almost bangs one into the Astros bullpen. A real good jolt in that one. 2 out double. Opportunity now for Gloss to pad their lead. He's 0 for 2 today.
Ground ball up the middle. And then a strikeout for Gloss in this game. Gloss had only 29 major league at bats with St. Louis last year, hitting 172. But he got a chance to sign as a free agent with the Braves in December. Taking ball one.
Well, you got a base open here, so you don't have to give in to Gloss.
David Ross on deck. He cracks one to center field. Michael Bourne turning and catching. No runs, a hit. A man stranded. 2-1 Braves in the 6th.
I had him describe his lip ring, and he couldn't do it.
Oh.
Braves, Astros baseball is always more fun with a group. Bring your team, church group, or family to Minute Maid Park for your next outing. All it takes is 20 more people to enjoy discount pricing on tickets. For more information, call 1-800-ASTROS-2 and ask about fundraising opportunities. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. It's 2-1 Atlanta. The Astros have only 2 hits off Tommy Hanson. One by this man, Michael Bourne. Got a smash off Hanson's leg that trickled behind the mound, and that led to the Astros' run in the 4th inning. Bourne then stole second, stole third, and scored on a hit by Hunter Pence. And now he's 0-2 in the count. He's 1 for 2 at the plate. Keppinger and Pence to follow in the Astros' 6th inning.
I like Hanson's curveball better than his slider, but he throws his slider a lot more often. At least that has been the case today. It's an easier pitch to control.
There's a curve tap back to the pitcher. Loss crossing over. Just brushed with Michael Bourne. That could have been a bad collision.
He makes everything dangerous out there with his speed. The most routine play takes on a different meaning with Bourne going down the line. He'll come back to the mound, and Henson's throw off the mark. Drifting across the line to catch it. Yeah, that could have been ugly. A knee-on-knee collision.
Brad Mills out to talk with the umpire at first. Gary Cedarstrom. Just a brief informational type conversation. It appeared. Chance he pulled his foot off the base when he caught that throw, maybe?
It didn't look like it, but I'm guessing that's what Brad was questioning.
Jeff Keppinger is 0 for 1 with a walk. That's the curve, and it's strike one. Voss looks very stiff at first base. He looks like his back is killing him. Some leg or hamstring issue. Just it's not moving around well. 1-1. Jeff Bagwell's hitters trying to figure out what works here against Hanson. Not much so far. 2 singles. Walked only 1. 2 balls and a strike. He was 3rd in Rookie of the Year balloting last year. Well, the rookies are fantastic this season in Major League Baseball, especially in the NL East. Every team has a phenomenal rookie, at least one. Fly ball left. Diaz calling. 2 outs.
And perhaps the biggest phenom, Stephen Strasburg, had a tough night last night.
Sure did.
And he's just coming off the DL. Speaking of nights last night, Jordan Lyles, the Astros' young pitching prospect, just 19 years of age, made his AAA debut last night at Round Rock. He was a losing pitcher, but he threw the ball very well, struck out 9.
He's just promoted from Corpus Christi. Hunter Pence is 1 for 2 in RBI. This fly ball goes to right. And Cabrera going back deep to right and makes the grab right up against the wall. So 1, 2, 3, 6th on 9 pitches for Hanson. 2-1 Braves. Point energy. Tommy Hanson in 6 innings has allowed just a couple of singles, and he has an RBI single. Michael Bourne 1 for 3. Stole 2 bases, scored a run. The Braves made their 7th error of the series, but they lead it 2-1 as they bat here in the 7th. David Ross taking, and it's ball 1 to Ross, who has struck out both times. Ryan McCann caught the first 2 games of the series. He's having a solid year again.
Ross, a capable backup, a good defender. And despite just the 1 home run this year, usually has a fairly productive bat. Just 3 runs on 6 hits total in this ball game, and with a little good fortune, This could be a scoreless affair. The pitchers have been very good.
Now back, and it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Monday night, the Astros put together a 6-run 7th inning and beat Atlanta 10-4. Last night, the Braves answered with a 4-2 win, getting 3 in the 9th. St. Louis 6, Cincinnati nothing. Bottom of the 8th in Cincinnati. Mitchell Boggs in relief of Wainwright now. 3 balls and a strike. Detroit 3, Tampa Bay 1. They've played 7 in Detroit. Ryan Rayburn hit his 4th home run for the Tigers. Foul back. The Rays are a half game behind the Yankees now. The Yankees have lost their last 2. They lost to the Rangers last night. Kansas City and the Angels just underway out west. Kansas City failed to score in the top of the first. Zach Greinke is on the mound for the Royals. 97 pitches for Wandy. And the curveball is punched on a line to the right field corner. Ross heads for second base. Hunter Pence has to reach for it a couple times. That's a double for Ross, his 7th.
Ross had punched out his first 2 at-bats, looking at a fastball his first time up, and then swinging in the 5th. Pick on a hanging curveball here. This curveball has been Wandy's go-to pitch. This time it kind of hovers there for Ross, and he lines it into right. Now Wandy's going to have to deal with his leadoff double. Big situation here. The way Hansen's pitching, as good as the Braves bullpen is, can't afford to let that run score.
Brooks Conrad got an infield hit in front of third baseman Chris Johnson and scored in the 5th. He's 1 for 2. Ball 1. His home run last night, batting left-handed in the 9th inning. Matt Lindstrom went to the second deck in right field.
He's not a real big guy, but he's strong. A quick bat. Just a .211 hitter from the right side this year. Lopez cranking it up in a hurry.
Strike makes it a 1-1 count to Conrad from Arizona State. Brooks spent most of last year at AAA Gwinnett, where he hit 12 homers and drove in 64. When he went to the Braves, he had 54 at-bats, hitting .204. Lines it to right field. Hunter Pence breaking over. Makes the catch, and it's hit sharply. No tag by Ross. 1 down.
Wandy up over 100 pitches now, starting to show maybe some signs of fatigue. The hanging curveball that Ross hit, and then this fastball Conrad put a real good swing on. The fastball was up a little bit.
Keel is fouled out, and Rick has walked. Goes for the high heater. There's strike 1 to him. Rick is a .277 career hitter against the Astros. He is 0 for 10 against Rodriguez. It's 1-1.
Keel picked up from the Kansas City Royals. He was hitting .261 over there in 92 at bats. He's dealt with injuries this year. Very aggressive hitter. Looked good swinging at that inside fastball.
Tommy Manzella went 2 for 4 last night in his first game at Round Rock after 5 games at AA Corpus Christi. He's now 8 for 18. And Keel strikes out. Wandy getting strikeout number 9.
he just overmatched Dan Keel. Rick swinging 3 times in that at bat, all 3 pitches out of the zone. High fastball, inside fastball, and then that curveball down.
Tommy Hanson bounced an RBI single over Chris Johnson in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 2. Curve works for strike 1 for Wandy. Wandy had a 10 strikeout game here when he beat the Pirates July 6th. That was in 7 innings. 1 more strikeout will put him in double figures again. One ball, 1 strike. The Astros have averaged 5.6 runs per game since the All-Star break, but Braves pitching slowed them down to 2 runs last night. Today's been a struggle with Hanson throwing the ball well. And that's put Wandy under the gun. 1 and 2. He's thrown the ball very well. It'll be Lee, Johnson, and Wallace due up in the bottom of the 7th. So who will be managing the Braves when they come to Houston next year? Freddie Gonzalez? 2 and 2.
I don't know. Yeah, Freddie used to be a member of the Braves organization. We'll talk about Freddie being a candidate for that job. The former Marlin skipper. He's a good man.
He had a solid reputation when he was in the Braves organization. We understand he still lives in Atlanta. Little dribbler, third base line. Wandy goes a long way, and he got him.
That was no-knowing. I didn't think they were going to have a chance.
Beautiful play. Leadoff double, and the Braves do not cash in. 2-1 Atlanta. Texas Ford dealers showing you the best Astros rookie batting averages all time. Greg Gross had the best at .314 in 1974. Jeff Bagwell checked in at .294 in 91. Then it was Sonny Jackson in 66. Willie Taveras in 05. Joe Morgan hit .271 in 65. That's the same average Bill Doran had in 1983. Chris Johnson could be better than all of them. He started the day at .366. He's due up second here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Carlos Lee is in the box ready to go right now. The Braves up 2-1 and Tommy Hanson on the hill.
Jeff Bagwell, of course, winning a Rookie of the Year award in 1991. Greg Gross finished second to Bake McBride.
Carlos Lee's 0 for 2. Strike Direct one for Hansen. He's thrown 83 pitches. Takashi Saito, a right-hander's warming up alongside lefty Mike Dunn for the Braves. It's a 1-1 count. Hansen shoots for win number 9 of the season. Inside to make it a 2-ball 1-strike count. He's walked only one, Keppinger in the 4th, and he seemed to be preoccupied when he faced Keppinger because of Bourne's presence on the base paths.
He's pitched 6 innings. 5 of those innings have been 3 up, 3 down. The 4th inning, the only time the Astros were able to get to him.
Alex Gonzalez can stay back and make the play. 1 out. Hansen has struck out 4. Chris Johnson hit a fly ball to center in the 2nd. He struck out swinging in the 4th. Hansen went to the Arizona Fall League after the 08 season. He was the MVP of that league. That set the scene for his 11-4 year last year with Atlanta. Here's ball 1. He started last season at Gwinnett. So Hansen will turn 24 later this month, and he looks like one of those Braves keepers.
How about the job they've done developing and scouting, bringing Hansen to the big leagues 1 year and then Jason Hayward the next. 2 real high ceiling performers.
Absolutely. 2 gems like that in 2 years.
And then that kid Freeman you talked about earlier apparently is quite a player.
Yes, he is. 3-0. He had a good spring and made an impression, but right now there's no place for him. And Hayward being a left-handed hitter. Freeman hits left. Chipper, a switch hitter. They've got McLouth, the left-handed hitter, in the minors right now, but owing him a lot of money for the future, so he'll probably be given a chance to reclaim his job next year. Bobby Cox is the only manager I've ever heard of, JD, who's on his team's board of directors.
He was the GM for a while.
Yeah.
He moved back into the dugout.
3-2.
Hansen struck CJ out with sliders away last time. Chris perhaps looking out there and trying to go away with the fastball as Richard Cross stayed on the inside corner.
He takes a walk. His 8th of the year. We go to Greg Lucas.
On live chat today, I've been running 2 polls that are rather interesting. Who is the most dependable closer in Astros history, and who was the scariest closer in Astros history? Well, Billy Wagner, the most dependable, gets 77% of the vote. Brad Lidge, 15%. Dave Smith, 8%. Jose Valverde gets none. Scariest closer, Jose Valverde, 75%. Brad Lidge with 13%, which means he's kind of the Howard Cosell of polls. He's high on both. And Doug Jones, 13% of most scary. Very surprising that Valverde is thought of so poorly since he tied the all-time save record with the Astros.
Fred Wallace with a foul pop caught by Troy Gloss, and that's out number 2. Now it's Sanchez coming up as the Astros trail 2-1 here in the 7th.
Valverde brought that scary reputation with him from Arizona. Everybody in Arizona said, he gets the job done, but if you got a 3-run lead, he's going to make it a 1-run game. And I imagine a lot of people feel that way about their team's closers because you pay more attention to those situations.
Absolutely. Sanchez is 0 for 2. He lined out to a leaping Gonzalez last time up. Castro's on deck. Astros have only 2 singles against Hansen, 6 2/3. Johnson's 2 for 2 in steals. Three pitches have been thrown by Tommy Hansen. $31,352 is the paid attendance today. Lots of youngsters in attendance. play by Infante for the third out. After 7, it's 2-1 Braves. Jaguar XJ and Tommy Hanson has been moving through the air with his pitches like a Jaguar. He's really had some snap on the fastball, been hitting spots, and then the curve, and a nice sharp slider, and he even knocked in the go-ahead run with that single, bouncing high over Chris Johnson in the 5th inning to make it 2-1 Atlanta. That's where it is now as Wilton Lopez enters the game, JD.
Yeah, we certainly have gotten the game we anticipated with Hanson and Rodriguez on the mound. Very well pitched. Now a 2-1 game as we move to the 8th. Wilton Lopez been on a real nice roll of late. And he needs to post a 0.
Here's strike 1. He needed only 1 pitch to get a double play last night.
Let's see, they're out the Bo wannabes.
Yeah. We knew this would happen.
Somebody's going to write a folk song before long. The ballad, the legend of Bo the Baler.
It seems that Sarah will have plenty of suitors from this episode. Not that we're trying to get involved, you understand. 1 ball, 1 strike to Infante. He's 0 for 3. Most people have no idea what we're talking about right now. Grounded on 1 bounce. It's Chris Johnson. 1 down.
In case you don't know what we're talking about, here's the replay from a couple of nights ago. Bo was in position to make the catch, and at the last, he decided, I want no part of that. And his girlfriend Sarah there took the hit. He did explain to us later when talking to Patty that the ball got in the lights.
Cabrera takes strike 1. It's all in good fun, and they are, they were wearing their Astros gear. They're members of the family. Cabrera has one of 3 doubles for the Braves. This is his 26th birthday. He's 1 for 3.
Hey, your instincts take over, and your instincts are self-preservation.
Absolutely, fear sets in.
Unless if that was Sarah's mother out there, she would have covered her up, taken it in the back. That's what moms do.
They really do. Changeup makes it 2 balls and a strike. Well, you plan for these things, and then the ball comes screaming your way, and things change.
Hey, again, guys, I know you've mentioned it a few times, but we really want to get in touch with Bo and Sarah. So if anybody knows their last name, or if you guys are out there watching, contact us at foxsportshouston.com or email us at foxsportshouston@yahoo.com. You guys give us a call. We want to talk to you.
Bo knows lights.
Bono's bailing. Kind of looks like he could be Ricky Ankiel's brother.
Yeah, he does. He does. You know what? Those two have a network future. They'd be fun on a talk show. He got caught up in the lights, and that can happen. Alex Gonzalez 0 for 3 with an RBI. Takes a Wilton Lopez pitch for ball 1. Now Lopez very efficient last night. He got 2 outs on 1 pitch. And he has had 11 straight scoreless outings. One of them 2 innings. It's in the air and it goes to the left fielder Carlos Lee to his right. For the 3rd out. 1-2-3-8 for Lopez. Keeps it close. 2-1 Braves.
The Astros trail the Braves 2-1. Now, baseball fan, Chevy is a proud sponsor of youth baseball programs throughout the state. If you would like to learn more about Chevy's commitment to youth league baseball, visit ChevyTexasBaseball.com.
Johnny Venters has come out of the bullpen. The hard-throwing young lefty, very impressive this year with a 1.09 ERA. He takes over with a 2-1 lead, and we'll have Jason Bourgeois pinch hitting for Jason Castro and Jason Michaels pinch hitting for Wilton Lopez.
Venters and then Wagner would be the plan for Bobby Cox. This guy's got outstanding stuff.
We saw it last night in the 4-2 Braves win. He got his 4th win of the year. Bourgeois 2 for 11 pinch hitting.
That's that right there. 94 with sink. Coming out of a bit of an awkward delivery. Very, very difficult.
Andrews gets a foul ball, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Jason Bourgeois. Michaels on deck, and then Bourne is due up 3rd in the inning. Hanson leaving after 7 fine innings, giving up 2 hits, both singles, 1 run. It was not earned. Walking 2, fanning 4. The tap goes foul. The reason it was not earned was that rundown involving Michael Bourne, who was caught in the rundown between 2nd and 3rd. Hanson dropped the throw to him at 3rd base, and Bourne scrambled back to 2nd. So that made it an unearned run because Bourne really should have been retired according to the rules of official scoring. And he wound up scoring the run. 2-2.
So the 3 runs scored in this ball game, 2 of them have been unearned.
Michaels will be next. He faced Venters last night, and Jeff Bagwell said he was commiserating with him after that at bat. Bag said he told Jason after the game, they looked at video of the way Venters pitched when he struck out Michaels. He said sometimes you just have to admit the pitcher is better than you. To Hopper, Alex Gonzalez. 1 out in the 8th. Now Michaels gets a second shot just a few hours later after Venters retired him with a couple of men on base in the 8th inning last night. He pinch hit for Brett Wallace. Brandon Lyons warming up for Houston while Michaels pinch hits. He has had some very important blows as a pinch hitter. He's 8 for 41 with 2 homers, 9 runs batted in. Coming into situations like this one, 195. Ball 1 upstairs. Wilson Lopez in 1 inning allowed no hits, no runs with no walks, no strikeouts. That's 12 straight scoreless outings for Wilson.
Venters 57 2/3 innings prior to today had allowed just 1 home run. Batting average against 169.
Pikeville, Kentucky. 2 balls and a strike. He missed the 06 season with Tommy John surgery. Seems to have come back from that in very strong fashion. 30th round pick in 03. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Venters. He's had 17 holds this year coming into a save situation such as this one and holding on to that lead. Got his 3rd blown save at Cincinnati July 30th. Joey Votto homered off him. Venters was thrown out of the game after hitting Prince Fielder of Milwaukee on July 17th. And there had been a warning prior to that. He was given a 4-game suspension, but he appealed it, and the suspension was rescinded.
Must have a good attorney.
Well, Michaels has worked a pinch walk. That's a nice job. That was a 95-mile-per-hour heater, and the way he falls off the third base side, it's got to be hard to track that baseball.
He's got a bit of a herky-jerky delivery and gets good sink on that fastball. The type of guy you don't, come into an inning thinking that you're going to string together a bunch of hits again, so you just battle and try to work a walk, and take an extra base if given an opportunity.
Oh, Michael Barn almost hit in the head by that Venters pitch, and that we understand is why the suspension was rescinded, because he's had his bouts with wildness this year.
Well, that was a slider. Trying to throw a slider down and away, and he just doesn't finish the pitch. It squirts out of his hand. If that was a fastball, there's no way he's getting out of the way. The slider at 84. Tough to have a whole lot of conviction with the swing on the next one.
You know it. Andrew started the year AAA Gwinnett, pitched twice, and then he was called up to the big leagues. He was a starter last year for Mississippi and Gwinnett. This is his 3rd appearance against the Astros this year. He's not allowed to run. But when a guy's up and in, then he paints like that. That makes it really tough for a hitter. That kind of a sequence.
Yeah, I think guys with this kind of stuff, you go into the at bat, and you're kind of in protect mode from the very first pitch. You're just battling, trying to fight them off.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Jeff Keppinger's on deck. Braves bullpen has a 3.23 ERA, among the best in the National League. Saito's warming up. Oh. Strikeout for out number 2. What a pitch.
He really pitched him tough.
2 down, and it's Keppinger. Keppinger's 0 for 2 with a walk. Ball 1 to him with Hunter Pence on deck. And Saito, who is warming up right now, got a save on Sunday when Willie Wagner was rested. Wagner had a 1-2-3 inning last night. It's 2-0 to Keppinger. Detroit leads Tampa Bay 3-2. The Rays just scored a run in the top of the 9th inning. Saito has very good stuff, Bobby Cox says, especially after a day off. 2 balls, 1 strike. It's Oakland 1, Seattle nothing. They played 2 in Seattle. And the Cardinals now have a game lead on Cincinnati. St. Louis 6, Cincinnati 1, the final today. Adam Wainwright going to 17-6 with a 1.99 ERA. They beat Bronson Arroyo, who's 12-7.
National League Cy Young Award is going to be a very interesting race again this year. Wainwright and Josh Johnson, Ubaldo Jimenez, Halladay.
St. Louis swept that 3-game series at Cincinnati. That sends a message. Bouncer, and Alex Gonzalez goes to his right. Throws him out. In the 8th inning, no runs, no hits, a man left. 2-1 Braves through 8.
Want to visit the official online shop of the Astros at astros.com. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the astros.com shop, except no substitutes. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. It's 2-1. The Braves lead it. And we go to the 9th inning. Brandon Lyon coming in. Very hot day outside. Fans getting some respite from that heat in the air-conditioned stadium, which will be swinging into action, setting up for the banquet tomorrow night. Alberto Quintero goes in to do the catching. And his battery mate is Brandon Lyon, pitching for the 3rd time in this 3-game series, JD.
Matt Lindstrom not available today. Brandon Lyon, kind of the designated closer. Obviously not a safe situation. The Astros are trailing 2-1, but Brandon Lyon charged with coming in here and pitching a scoreless 9th and giving his boys a chance in the bottom half to come back and tie it or win it.
Strike 1 to Matt Diaz, who doubled to right center in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. Gloss and Ross to follow Diaz. Right field line, Hunter Pence running over. 1 out for Lyon. Time now for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. We've not had a blast in this game. We'll flash you back to last night. Troy Gloss lifting that low fastball from Matt Lindstrom for the 2nd Braves homer in the 9th inning. was his first long ball since June 20th. And number 15 of the year. Today he's 0 for 3.
A lot of guys 0 for in this one. 7 hits combined for both clubs.
Lyon delivers ball 1.
And Lyon has, if not the best command on the staff, he's one of the top 2 or 3. He hits his spot a high percentage of the time.
Curveball makes it a 2-ball, no strike count on appeal to Gary Cederstrom. Lyon has had everything working well lately. He hasn't given up a run in his last 10 appearances, covering 11 innings. Billy Wagner's warming up for Atlanta. 3-0. The Astros have Pence, Lee, and Johnson due up in the last of the 9th.
Dangerous pitch here. You got to throw a strike, but you got a guy capable of knocking it out of the ballpark.
Off the end of the bat, it goes toward the right field line. Hunter Pence coming over. A 3-0 pitch. Ross is retired. 2 outs. So he got the green light, couldn't do anything with it. Now it's Ross, who is 1 for 3, a double to right field. Detroit held off Tampa Bay 3-2 the final. Justin Verlander winning in the Motor City to go to 13-7. He beat Matt Garza. Garza now 11-7. Jose Valverde got his 22nd save.
Wonder if it was scary.
Well, they got a run in the 9th.
Sure.
So it may have been scary. Ground ball 3rd. Fair ball for Chris Johnson. He zips it across to Wallace. It's a 1-2-3 9th. Now Billy Wagner versus Pence, Lee, and Johnson. 2-1 Braves. Is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the 2010 F-150. Ford is the best in Texas. Hard-throwing Billy Wagner, the all-time save leader in Astros history, comes in with a 2-1 lead going to the bottom of the 9th inning. These fans have seen quite a matinee here. Braves trying to take 2 of 3 in this series. They go to Wagner with 28 saves in 34 opportunities. Got his most recent save last night with a 1-2-3 9th, JD.
Billy Wagner steps on the Minute Maid Park mound for the final time in his career. Presumably, he said he's going to retire at the end of the year. Well, I imagine that has crossed his mind at some point, either out there in the pen or as he trotted in.
Facing Hunter Pence, who's 1 for 3, an RBI single. Gets the slider, and it's strike 1. So funny. And he's close to the all-time strikeout record for a lefty reliever. Second in appearances And he gets a swing there from Hunter Pence, 0-2. Jeff Bagwell went up to him the other day and said, hey, I have to file a report on you for my hitters. What do you throw for a breaking ball? Is it a curve or a slider, or what do you call it? Wagner said, I don't know.
Just a breaking ball.
Well, there it is, and it missed. And it's 1-2 now as Billy favors the breaking ball here to Hunter Pence. He's converted 24 of his last 28 save opportunities. 7 strikeouts away from tying Jesse Orozco for the top spot among lefty relievers.
Leadoff double sure would come in handy here.
A little roller to third. This might be a leadoff single, and it is for Hunter Pence. Rich Conrad playing deep. Couldn't do anything to prevent it. Pence is 2 for 4. He could be running.
Seen this time and time again. Hunter fooled and roll over on a pitch, but it turns into a base hit. If he gets the good break out of the box.
That's his 23rd infield hit. Now here's Carlos Lee as the throw goes over to first. And the Braves are probably going to be very cautious here on pickoff throws. Carlos 3 for 7 against Wags. Line shot left center field. Diaz over. Here's Pence going to third. The throw is not going to get him, and Hunter Pence got in. It was close there as Conrad took that ball off the bag, and it looked like he almost tagged Hunter, but it's first and third, nobody out.
Well, what a great aggressive base running by Hunter Pence. Well, when you're up against a guy like Wagner, it probably makes sense to be extra aggressive. Try to take the extra base. Provide an opportunity. And this is, again, if you get thrown out here, everybody said you can't get thrown out for the first out of third base, but you know what? He didn't get thrown out. He saw the ball was deep. He got a nice jump off the first base. He stretched it out.
Jeff Fulcino warming up for Houston. Chris Johnson the batter, and there's strike 1. CJ 0 for 2 with a walk. 8-game hitting streak for Johnson. Pedro Feliz on deck circle. Brett Wallace 2 up next.
Braves will keep the middle infielders back. And they're willing to allow the tying run to score to get the double play to try to clean up the inning.
That was bold base running by Pence.
It sure was. Bobby Cox probably figures with Saito out there. Lindstrom not likely available from his perspective. You know, he's not sure what's going on with Lindstrom, but he probably has an idea that he might not be available, so he probably feels pretty good about his chances in an extra inning game.
Fly ball will go foul and out of play. 1-2. Wagner just turned 39 in late July. First round pick of the Astros in '93. Set a club record for saves with 44 in '03. 6-time All-Star. Blazing fastball at 97. Takes the count to 2-2.
Last night his stuff was very good and his command was outstanding. He's throwing the ball exactly where he wanted to. Not so much in this one. The stuff's still good. His command just kind of sharp.
Johnson looks at the right field. Pence is tagging. He'll score easily. Caught by Cabrera. And it's a tie ball game. Sacrifice fly for Johnson. RBI number 33 makes it 2-2.
Nice job there by CJ. Good 2-strike approach. Staying back, hitting the ball the other way. Slider moving in on him, and he just fights it off to right field.
Hunter made a lot of things happen with his legs in that inning. Infield hit, first to third on a single, scoring on a sac fly. Pinch hitter Pedro Feliz bats for Wallace, who was 0 for 3. Carlos Lee draws the throw. Now, one problem the Braves pitchers have, as you see Feliz 2 for 7 with a homer off Wagner, is Troy Gloss has problems reaching around the runner and catching a pickoff throw. Right to Feliz. Feliz 2 for 17 as a pinch hitter. One of those 2 hits was a long ball.
And even though the number's not good this year, Feliz, he's been pretty good against lefties. He does not have a good pickoff move. The whole key for Billy here is to make sure he gets rid of the ball in a hurry when he does go over, because I think that's the best chance that a guy like Carlos stealing a base would be to go on first move and then kind of on a long move from the pitcher and a slow release from Gloss. I think that's more of a 2-out play than it is right now, though.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Wagner is 0-2 against the Astros in his career in 14 games with 8 saves and 10 opportunities before today. Feliz has hit .286 against Southpaws with 3 of his 4 home runs.
Feliz hitting here leaves just Jeff Blum on the bench now for Brad Mills.
Feliz in the air to shallow right. Cabrera coming in. Infante with the catch. 2 outs. Angel Sanchez follows. He's 0 for 3. The Astros are behind and trying to keep it close have used Lopez and Lyon. The way it looks right now, Lyon on deck. Blum is on deck to pinch hit for him. If this game goes to the 10th, Lyon could stay in for one more. Sanchez makes the final out. Fulchino and Tim Burdack throwing in the bullpen now. Fulchino's not pitched very much since coming off the disabled list. Burdack has pitched a lot lately. Carlos takes off. No throw. A stolen base. Shortstop Gonzalez broke the cover late. Third steal for Lee.
Flat-footed, but then he goes on first move.
That's Roger McDowell out to the mound.
Ross maybe lost the handle to it there as he drew his arm back to make a throw.
It's Ohlendorf and Myers Friday night as a brand new series starts here at Minute Maid Park. 6:30 for Astros Live, 7:05 for Game 1 of the Astros Pirates series. Saturday night at 6:05, Nelson Figueroa comes into the rotation facing Paul Maholm. Sunday at 1:05, it's Bud Norris and Jeff Karstens. Top to third, Conrad. Short hop play, and he made it. Gloss is going to get hurt.
His footwork around there is just horrible.
1 run, 2 hits, a runner stranded. It goes to the 10th. Atlanta 2, Houston 2. Beef jerky, feed your wild side. It's 2-2 after 9. We go to the 10th now with the Astros in extra inning games, 6-2. And you see the inning by inning breakdown of runs. Atlanta taking the 2-1 lead in the 5th. The Astros tying it in the 9th on the sac fly by Johnson. Wagner got his 7th blown save, but it's a tie ball game with Pedro Feliz playing first base and Brandon Lyon coming out for his 2nd inning of work, facing Brooks Conrad. Conrad looks at ball 1. Lyon had a quick 9th inning. Conrad 1 for 3. He scored that go-ahead 5th inning run after an infield single. It's in the air to left center. There's Lee moving for it. 1 out for 1.
Infield hits have been a theme in this game. Both of the Astros runs are scored by players who reached on infield hits.
Rick Ankiel with a pitcher spot due up next is the batter, and it's Eric Hinske coming out to pinch hit for Wagner. Ankiel is 0 for 2 with a walk. Atlanta's 5-6, while Houston is 6-2 in extra frames. Lyon sinks it, and there's ball 1. Lyon Monday night threw 1 hitless inning. He needed only 7 pitches. Last night, 1 hitless inning, only 11 pitches.
Good against lefties. He throws a two-seamer that moves down and away from them, and then he'll throw the cutter in on their hands. All about keeping the ball off the barrel of the bat. He's done a real nice job of that this year. The curveball.
0-2 to Ankiel. Chipper Jones, we would have to think, is not available after injuring his left knee last night. Sprained left knee is the diagnosis.
Yeah, I saw him out around the batting cage during BP. He had a bat in his hands, was taking some practice swings. I didn't see if he got into the cage or not.
He's to have an MRI in Atlanta tomorrow. There's a report he was limping around in the clubhouse before the game, but apparently was better off than he thought he would be after last night. 1-2 to Ankiel. Two balls, 2 strikes. Braves have 5 hits. The Astros have managed 4. All the Astros hits have been singles. As JD mentioned, a couple of those infield hits for Houston. The Braves also with the one by Conrad, an infield hit in the 5th. That one rolls out off the foot of Ankiel. Now Lyon brings a starting pitcher's repertoire to this relief job and can really approach a hitter in different ways.
Came up as a starting pitcher with the Blue Jays. Made 11 starts for them in 2001, and then in 2002 he made 10 starts, 5 appearances out of the bullpen. 2003 he was with the Red Sox. He's been a reliever from that point forward.
He can make the baseball do a lot of different things. 3-2 to Ankiel. He's allowed just over a hit per inning in his career. He's walked only 151 in 494 innings coming into this season. Good command of his stuff. That one, though, is ball 4. Couldn't get Ankiel to chase, and he's a 1-out base runner. Now it'll be Eric Hinske pinch hitting for Billy Wagner. Hinske has good power. He's played some first base and outfield with a .258 average, 9 homers, 41 runs batted in. He's had 225 at bats. Very good numbers pinch hitting, .296 on 8 hits and 27 at bats, including a couple of bombs and 7 driven in.
And these guys, Lyon and Hinske, would have been teammates with that Toronto team back in '02 when Hinske was the Rookie of the Year.
He looks at ball 1. He's hit righties to the tune of 256 with 8 home runs. He was in the lineup Friday night in left field, going 0 for 4 against Bud Norris in the bullpen. In on him, snap throw by Quintero. It's not caught by Feliz. And here scrambling to second is Ankiel. Looked like they might have had him, but Feliz didn't catch the throw from Quintero. Ankiel was pretty far off.
Yeah, Q throws to the bases more than any catcher in the game. Yeah, Pedro should have caught that ball. I don't know if they would have had Ankiel or not, but that's the risk. Anytime you take a shot like that, you're aware of the ball getting away. It's going to be an E3.
11th error on Feliz. Now here's an intentional walk with that runner having moved to second on the error by Feliz. Hinske will draw the walk and bring up Infante, a right-handed batter, with 2 on and 1 out. Quintero often does throw to the bases, but he had worked for years with Lance Berkman. Feliz has not played a lot of first base. First baseman really has to be aware when a catcher throws that often. Infante's 0 for 4. That's the first error in this game. We had an error on the Braves
Hansen
earlier.
made that error on the pickoff on the rundown.
Scoreboard's not reflecting that right now. Ball 1 to Infante. Yeah, Hansen was charged with that error on the Bourne rundown in the 4th. But the scoreboard is not showing that error. Well, one of the scoreboards is. The auxiliary board is showing it down the left field line. Lyon throws a strike to even the count at 1-1. Angels got a run in the 3rd and lead Kansas City after 4-1-0 with Jared Weaver on the mound. It's Oakland 2, Seattle 0 after 4 in Seattle. Now 2 balls, 1 strike. Infante has walked 14 times this season. He's had over 260 at bats.
Outfield fairly shallow for him. Ankiel, the base runner at second, runs well.
Line deep to left field, and that is going to be off the wall. Go ahead run scores. He's just trotting home. And Ankiel does come in to make it 3-2 Atlanta here in the 10th inning. He didn't seem to know what was going on. He seemed to be running as if he thought it was a homer.
He was. Ultimately, they weren't going to have a play on him, but I'm sure Bobby Cox would prefer that he run a little bit harder there. And Infante, who's hit just 3 home runs this year, turns on one and just misses a 3-run shot off the top of the wall. Infield trots home. Now the infield has to come in, and a base hit scores 2 more.
Hinske leaving now for the pinch runner, Fiore Hernandez. And the infield is in for Melky Cabrera. Time call with runners at second and third and 1 out. Fiore Hernandez, the pinch runner at third base for Hinske. Now Brad Mills is coming out. They want Burdack to turn Cabrera around. Lyon has thrown 26 pitches. Chino's been working in the Astros bullpen as well.
Yeah. Conversation as to what they want to do with Cabrera here with the base open. Do you want to put him on and play for the double play? And Brandon, not a real sinker baller. You don't think of him as a ground ball pitcher. And I'm going to put him on.
The bases will be loaded for Alex Gonzalez. Lions due to lead off the bottom of the inning, to be followed by Quintero and Bourne. Cabrera gets the free pass, second intentional walk in the inning.
The unintentional one that really hurt, the one-out walk to Ankiel to get things rolling here for the Braves. And Ankiel's walked twice this afternoon. He's a guy that generally does not walk a whole lot.
Now Gonzalez 0 for 4. He had an RBI on a ground out in the first inning. One grand slam for Alex in his career. Billy Wagner now could be the winning pitcher. Ryan misses. There's ball one. Liner to left. A hit in front of Lee. Hernandez will score to make it 4-2 Braves. RBI single for Gonzalez. His 10th run batted in with Atlanta. And number 60 for him this season.
Really, it's very difficult when you get into these situations and you decide to put a man on because you got a base open. If the pitcher's then kind of in a little bit of a box where he feels like he has to challenge the hitter, but just the nature of the game, you get in these desperate situations. Mills hoping to get the ground ball from Gonzalez there and get the double play, and Gonzalez able to elevate that ball.
Jeff Fulcino's coming in. It's 4-2 Braves in the 10th. Back in a moment. Are loaded, and Jeff Fulcino will be pitcher number 4 for the Astros, taking over for Brandon Lyon. It will be his 3rd time on the mound since the disabled list caused him to be out of action for a while. His ERA 6.19. Pinch hitter Brian McCann, as the Braves try to blow it open here. He's the pinch hitter for Diaz.
Taking a shot at that outside corner with a fastball at 94. McCann, a very dangerous hitter. Jeff last worked Sunday, 2 innings in Milwaukee. It's scoreless baseball.
Dan takes that one as well. He's at 2-0 in the count. 6 grand slams for Brian with a .353 bases loaded average in his career.
This is his MO. Patient and then get into a hitter's count and take a good aggressive hack.
He does that, and you can mark that down as number 7 in the Grand Slam department for Brian McCann. Bobby Cox calls on his starting catcher, who whacks one to right field and really opens up some room for the Braves here in the 10th inning. 8-2 Atlanta as McCann goes deep. It's home run number 17 for him, giving him 62 runs batted in.
McCann showing good patience early, laying off a couple of close fastballs, especially that second one, and then Fulcino felt like he had to challenge after falling behind 2-0. And McCann obviously up for the challenge.
Braves get their 5th Grand Slam of the year. McCann makes it a 6-run margin. Loss taking ball 1. Two balls, no strikes. It's 8 runs on 8 hits for Atlanta. The first long ball of the game comes here in the 10th inning. Number 101 for the Braves this season. Brandon Lyon in 1 1/3 innings allowed 2 hits, 5 runs, walking 3 with no strikeouts. Now a liner to left, Carlos Lee retires Gloss.
Kind of ironic because some people starting to make noise about Matt Lindstrom and that maybe Brandon Lyon should be the guy. I'm not saying Brandon Lyon wouldn't be capable, but obviously not his day. But it's a tough situation. And that 1-out walk to Ankiel, to me, still the big difference maker in this game that really set things up. Error by Feliz. Allowed Ankiel to go to second, then they opted to walk Hinske. Just changes the dynamic when a pitcher knows he doesn't have an open base, and a hitter knows that as well. The hitter kind of basically can stalk the pitcher, kind of sit and wait. Okay, you don't have an open base, you got to come in.
That was McCann's first pinch hit Grand Slam and his 2nd slam of the year. He hit one against Milwaukee July 18th.
So we know that's at least the 3rd pinch hit Grand Slam for the Braves this year.
Yes, it is.
Conrad's got 2.
That's amazing. Fouled away. Braves have batted around here in the 10th inning, scoring 6 times. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They've done a number on the teams in the NL Central. A win today would make them 20-11 against the teams in the National League Central Division. They're 1 over 500 against clubs in their own division. McCann has really given them plenty of working room now. Line shot left field corner. Ross heads for second base. That's the 3rd extra base hit of the inning. Ross picks up his 2nd double of the game and 8th of the year. And Brooks Conrad, who led off this inning with a fly ball to left, bats a 2nd time now. Braves are in the middle of the pack in runs scored in the National League. They rank 7th. 520 right now, but this has been an explosive inning showing what they can do, and things are working well, and they get a little help along the way.
They do a couple things that the Astros don't do. They draw walks and they hit home runs.
Yeah.
It's been on display here.
Well, Weaver would like that.
Dennis Weaver would like that.
Jared Weaver would not like that. That's by the Angels. Strikeout for Fulchino, and the Braves parade 10 men to the plate in the 10th inning. 6 of them score on 4 hits with an error, and they lead at 8-2. Changes for Bobby Cox. There is the new second baseman, Diori Hernandez, who went in to pinch run for Hinsky. Scored a run. Omar Infante has moved from second base to left field. And it's Takashi Saito in from the bullpen. He's pitcher number 4 with a 1-3 record, 15 holds, and a 3.14 ERA.
Brownie mentioned earlier, he too has a good, lively fastball. He's got 53 strikeouts in 43 innings while walking just 13. He gets 217 against him. A veteran from Japan, 40 years of age now, Saito.
He's facing pinch hitter Jeff Blum. Batting for the pitcher, Fulchino. 321 is his pinch hit average with 9 runs batted in. Taking strike 1 from Saito. Jeff Fulchino in 2/3 of an inning allowed 2 hits, 1 run with no walks and a strikeout. It's no balls, 2 strikes to Jeff Blum with 9 hits and 28 pinch hit at bats. Those 9 runs batted in. He ranks number 1 on the Astros club collecting pinch hits. Chops this one slowly. Brooks Conrad rushes in, doesn't make the play. Blum reaches to open the Astros 10th inning.
And from that humble beginning, a 7-run rally ensues.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
Conrad in a hurry there with Blum going down the line. Didn't have to be that quick. It would be an E5.
And it is an E5. Conrad drawing the error, and now it's Humberto Quintero trying to snap 0 for 14. 215, 3 homers, 11 runs batted in. Back 1 to him. First baseman Bloss is not holding the runner. Blum. Saito throws a strike, gets in front 0-2. Quintero has had 52 starts behind the plate. Saito, 40 years old, and last year he pitched for Boston 56 times. Had a couple of saves, but was primarily a setup man, and that's what he is primarily for Atlanta.
Came to the States with the Dodgers back in 2006. Played 24 games that year, 39 the next. Fastball, curveball, slider.
It's 1-2 for Saito. Quintero will be followed by Bourne. Fouled away by Q.
I like that Brave hat.
Do you?
Clean look, yeah.
Yes, it is. Braves have been a good team for a long, long time, but prior to that, they were really bad for several years. Ted Turner once managed the team for a game. And at that point, they were purely programming for a television station. Not really too serious about being a good ball club. That reversed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He used to do things like play twilight games at 5:40 after coming back from a West Coast road trip the night before and getting in about 6 in the morning because they needed programming that night for the TV station. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and they'd have crowds of 2,000 and 3,000 when we'd go into the old stadium in Atlanta. Kansas City just scored in the 6th and is tied 1-1 with the Angels in the top of the 6th, still batting. Betancourt hit his 10th homer. Saito gets a strikeout on Quintero. He looks back at the home plate umpire, Mike Machlinsky. 1 out.
Pretty good slide ball there from Saito. I'm not so sure that he didn't cross Ross up when he was tapping his chest afterwards like, that's on me.
Michael Bourne got an infield hit in the 4th, stole 2nd, stole 3rd, and came around to score. The Astros got another run in the 9th. But the Braves put up a big number with 6 in the 10th. Jeff Plum went scrambling back to first.
Saito stepped off on him.
Loss was about 10 feet away from the bag. Strike to Bourne.
Kind of out there in a 6-run game at the bottom of the 10th. You know the first baseman's behind you. You feel pretty comfortable. And all of a sudden the pitcher steps off and fakes the throw. And you're like, wait a minute here.
Strike to Bourne, and it's 0-2 to Michael. Back to divisional play for the Astros Friday night with the Pirates in town. Bourne looks at it. 1-2. The Astros 7-2 against Pittsburgh this season. They are 30-24 within their division. But against the NL East, a loss today would give them a 6-10 record. Strike call by Saito. And Bourne is caught looking, 2 outs.
The backdoor slider. Just catches that outside edge.
Jeff Keppinger will bat. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. Only 4 hits for the Astros in this game. They've all been singles. 2 have been infield hits. Blum takes off for second, and it's fouled. Strike 1. Tough to win a major league game with 2 runs and 4 hits, but Hansen was very solid. Venters had a hitless inning. Astros put together a run in the 9th off Wagner. Saito's trying to end it right here. It's 1-1. Dodgers have had that tradition of bringing Japanese pitchers to their club for years. Saito a part of that in the 06 season. Fly ball right field. Cabrera backing, turning both ways, and he reached down and snagged it. There's a birthday gift. He's 26 years old, and he's going to head in with the baseball. The Braves win. Saito all smiles. Got an exciting viewing of that Melky Cabrera catch in right field. And here's the final out. Try it that way, turn that way.
It's like he was trying to defend Ocho Cinco or something out there. Running a down and out.
Put on a show for Saito. And the Braves win it in 10. Final score 8-2.